Everybody seems hyped up about these new 4K announcements from James Cameron movies, but has everybody forgot about the past Terminator 2 release? Are we getting too hyped up here? Let's talk about it. In today's physical media news topic video, we dive into all the dirty details on the recent 4K announcements for The Abyss, True Lies, Aliens, and more, and then we get into why you should be a little bit more cautious about these releases than we once thought, and then of course we get into what we should do as a community when it comes to picking up these 4K movies. But before we get into that, if you love collecting physical media just like me and being part of this amazing league of mega film fan collectors, go ahead and sink that like and subscribe. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics. And of course, leave in the comments below which of these 4K announcements are you most excited for. So now getting into this titanic amount of news details for these 4K announcements, we are finally getting The Abyss, True Lies, and Aliens to 4K Ultra HD disc for the very first time. Now they're slated to come out March 12th, which isn't that too far away. I know we've been salivating for these titles as collectors because it's just difficult to see some of these movies. The Abyss and True Lies in particular have only been released on DVD, not even Blu-ray formats, and they've disappeared off of streaming. So it's like, where do you find these? Finally, our answer is here. We're going to get some awesome 4K releases of these movies, at least slated for March if everything goes well. Hopefully there's no delays, but in the meantime, while you're salivating for those, you can kind of whet your appetite with Titanic coming out in December, and also the re-releases of the Avatar movies. If you haven't picked those up, there's a nice Titanic Collector's Edition, which comes with like a cool hardcover book and some fan art and all that wonderful stuff, which I super love Titanic, so that one kind of caught my attention. And then of course, if you did not pick up the other Avatar 4Ks, you're getting re-releases of them, but kind of collector's editions, new slipcover artwork, I believe, and you get more special features thrown in there, which is kind of a bummer if you missed out on the past releases, because I'm sure people would have loved to have those special features, and not many people are going to double dip for extra special features, but if you missed out on them, this is kind of a cool way to go about collecting them, at least now. But I mean, come on, these awesome releases here of True Lies and The Abyss, they're getting new special features here as well. Looks to be like some new interviews or featurettes thrown into at least both of those. Now, Aliens is the odd one out where it's not getting any new special features. Yeah, it's getting the archival stuff like the other ones are getting as well, but no new special features for Aliens, and it's such a popular movie. You would think somebody would want to come back to talk about that movie. That is just kind of a little bizarre to me. But besides that, at least we're getting new stuff on the other one, so that seems super, super cool. So I know we're just so excited for this once we finally heard it. It's been rumored forever. But are we getting a little too excited? That's the question there. Let's talk about that next. So now getting into why we got to be a little bit cautious here, not just overly hyped, is because we're still getting a James Cameron title, which we've seen what James Cameron has done with a 4K before. Did you forget about Terminator 2 Judgment Day? I know that was some years ago, but they never fixed their Terminator 2 mistakes. Now that was the big issue there. And of course the community was in an uproar over the T2 4K quality transfer. It looked like they scrubbed it clean like a shiny new penny, and a lot of people did not like that because that's not how it was originally filmed. Now, I didn't mind as much. I was okay with it looking like it was shot digitally. I wasn't going to complain there myself, but I know a lot of people in the community did not like it. But it now seems like the community is just embracing these 4K transfers and getting super hyped up about them. And it is a possibility that James Cameron has approached these 4K transfers in a different way. Maybe he heard the complaints about there from the community, and he really spent some time making some amazing 4K transfers here to really just kind of impress this time around. Maybe that's why these have taken such a long time to come out. That is a total possibility, and I hope so. I hope so that there was really great treatment put into these 4Ks. James Cameron is saying really good positive things out to these major magazines like Variety, saying, hey, yeah, these are going to look insanely good, right? He's giving them these quotes of just expecting amazingness out of these 4K movies. But I mean, of course, he's going to say good things about his own movies. Of course, he's going to promote it and try to sell it. It totally makes sense. But once again, we cannot forget the nightmares people had over T2. I think we still got to have that in the back of our mind, of course. Now, once again, we're going to hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Once again, these movies are still under Disney, right? We know Disney likes to kind of just get things out quickly and not really pay too much attention to how they're doing the 4K transfers and all that. Remember Heat? People were not so hot on Heat after it came out. People were pumped up about it when they heard the announcement. They're like, ooh, finally we're getting Heat to 4K. This is going to be a great time. But then it came out and totally did not sell that great. I mean, they had to discount that sucker to like $6 eventually just to sell some more of it, which just was mind-blowing to me. But that's what happens when you don't do a great 4K transfer. I mean, they had the same problems like Pirates of the Caribbean, and just they've had so many issues, Disney. And Disney is still the one that's over this, right? Disney is the one releasing these along with James Cameron, but I believe James Cameron worked on the T2 one as well. And I've heard excuses out there of people saying, oh, well, they used the wrong transfer all entirely. That was for the Blu-ray 3D disc or T2 or whatever, something like that. And I'm like, I don't care about the excuses. They did something incorrectly for a lot of the community, and they had many years to fix it, right? If there really was an issue there, then they could have done a whole disc replacement thing. They've had future releases where Lionsgate would release a nice steelbook of T2, and it was the same 4K disc. So I don't want to hear excuses on T2. If you're going to give T2 some crud there, you got to give the same kind of cautiousness to these James Cameron releases coming out next. Once again, they could end up being great, amazing. That's what we're hoping for. But I also think we need a plan for the worst. So now to get into what we should do as a community in our approach to picking up these 4K James Cameron titles. And once again, to each their own on how you want to go about this one. I would recommend that unless you're a massive fan of these movies, which some people are, some people want to go out, get all of these day one. They're big James Cameron fans. They love every single one of these movies. Then more power to you. Go all out. If it's within your means, go for it. Have a good time. Totally support that. But for people like me, we're going to be a little bit more cautious. We're going to be a little patient on these titles. I do like a lot of these titles. I quite enjoy a bunch of these right here, but it's not like they're my top 10 favorite list of all time. And I do think they will get some price drops in the future, some kind of discount or deal, at least in a few weeks, a few months. Even if I have to wait a year till another Black Friday, we're going to get some discounts on these titles eventually. Now, the Avatar ones I don't need at all because I already have the 4K slips of those. I'm not going to pay extra for some more special features. I'm good on those. Mine already have a good chunk of special features anyway. And I don't think I've even gone through them. They have hours of special features on them. So, yeah, that's a task for another day. Now, Titanic, I'm really excited to see the 4K quality on that one, but I'm going to wait to hear good things about it and then really consider picking it up once it gets a discount. Now, Aliens, I don't really need on 4K. I have a Blu-ray of it. I'm content with that. It's not even my favorite Alien movie. I love horror Alien, so I like the first Alien. I even like the third one better than Aliens. I know, everybody's gonna be shocked by that, but I just like the horror aspect of Alien rather than turning it into an action movie. That's just my personal taste. Now, True Lies, I am very interested in because it's just a fun action kind of movie. You got Arnold, you got Jamie Lee Curtis at her prime. Can't really go wrong with that one. And we've been waiting so long for that title. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, hopefully get a discount on the 4K, but that's one I'm really itching to get into my collection. Now, The Abyss is kind of interesting because I already have a DVD copy of that one. I believe it's like a foreign language release. Now, I didn't super love the movie. I did quite enjoy it, but not super love. I gotta hear good things about that one too, and then maybe in the future pick up the 4K on that one. So most of these, I am willing to pick up 4Ks of in the future when they get a price discount, because they are quite good movies. I mean, James Cameron, a wonderful director. I did a whole stream on him celebrating his filmography. He just does such great work. But that's going to be my kind of approach. And of course, you're going to have your kind of approach when picking these up. But I wouldn't get swept up into the hype. I would once again just go about your means and just kind of really go for the ones you really, really need. And if you can wait on them, why not wait and get a discount? That's kind of how I usually approach my spending strategy anyway, but you spend how you would like out there. But yeah, once again, no matter what, no matter how these 4K transfers turn out, at least this is exciting news. At least this is interesting news. At least Disney's doing something which is better than before. I will take that as a win all day, every day. But you guys gotta let me know now in the comments below which ones are you most excited about. Why are you excited to pick them up? Are you gonna wait on any of them? Are you gonna get them all into your collection at some point? Let's have these fun movie conversations down below. Once again, if you haven't hit that subscribe and like button, if you made it through the end of this video, you know you love the content, go ahead and do that. And if you enjoy this physical media topic, go ahead and mega click another video right now. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters.